Hey y'all, welcome back. Well, this is what we're going to be working on today. This is going to be a giant project, but it is for my husband's cousin Shelby. She got married last month, and I've been drying her wedding bouquet, and I zoomed out so you could see everything. So I've kind of started placing a few things, but I don't know where I'm going to go with this. This is everything that was in her bouquet. It's a lot. And so there are some of these thingies. I don't know what they are. We're not going to use them all. I did press some of these. Again, they're furry, but they're not like elephant ears. I'm not sure what they are. So I did press some of these. So we're going to be putting some of those in there somewhere. And then there is also some of these, which are also fuzzy. They look like maple leaves, but they're fuzzy. So I've got some of those too. I pressed them because I didn't think that they would dry very well in drying stuff. And then everything else I dried in silica sand. So her roses were white. And then she had these. There was only 3 of them. This, and then she had these orange tea lights in there. Lots of those. I went and bought a couple of these. There's only just a few because I wanted some on a stem to put in here. I don't know if I'll use them or not, but I wanted them just in case. So they're a lot like the ones that were in her bouquet, but they're much smaller. And so I dried those. And so we'll set these over here just in case. I'm not sure if I'll use them or not. But all of these are from her bouquet. And then she had white roses. And so we're going to create this for her. She thinks that I'm using this little tiny octagon thing, and which we agreed upon. But after she gave me her bouquet, and I'll put a picture up on the screen of what it looked like put together, when she handed me that bouquet, because she got married, and then that evening she brought me her bouquet before they went and did all their stuff. And when she brought me that bouquet, I thought, oh my gosh, that's not going to fit in that thing. So I dug out this, and so I'm going to make something else, something a little more special for her. And I've already made her cross, and so then I'm going to make, what we all talked about. I don't want to give too much away because she is a subscriber of mine, so I don't really want to, say too much, but I am going to start this process today. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to pour a thin layer of resin, not deep pour, just resin, to get all these stuck down. And then that's when we're going to start pouring the layers of deep pour. So this is where I've started. And again, it might change, but all of these roses, I'm going to cut those off, and we're going to set the roses down inside there with these and some more greenery. And we're just going to kind of go with the flow and see what I can come up with. on this. I think greenery wise, this is what I'm sticking with, and then we'll incorporate some of this in here, and then we're just going to put the roses in and those roses and kind of go from there. So I do have you guys zoomed out because apparently and I don't always look up here at my camera because it's so far up in the air. But today I got up on my stool and made sure that everything, you guys can see everything. And I need to be more mindful of that because, you know, I get things cut off down here because usually I have so much on my table and I forget to zoom out. So when that happens, y'all need to call me out on that because I need to make sure that everything is being seen, you know, in my videos. So, and I appreciate the subscriber that did say something. So, okay, without further ado, I am going to get to cutting off stems and start placing, and I may not do much talking. As a matter of fact, when I go to do this video, I may fast forward that part because it is time consuming to decide where you're going to put things, take things out, put things in, do, you know, all this. So I'm just going to start messing around with it. And but I do need to mix up some resin and get the resin in the bottom. So that way I'm not taking things out, putting things back in, and trying to remember where I put everything. So I will mix up resin, get it into the bottom, and then we'll start the process. Okay. All right. See you in a little bit. Okay, y'all, I'm mixing up my resin. I changed my mind. I am going to pour the first layer in, and I'm going to wait for it to get tacky. And while I'm waiting for it to get tacky, I'm going to go ahead and snip all the stems off of everything and get that all prepared. And then when it gets tacky, then we'll come back and we'll start placing things in. Because I've done this so many times that I always forget that when you put flowers in freshly poured resin, it doesn't stay, it floats, moves around, everything like that. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to go ahead and get that poured. Once it gets done mixing, let it sit, get everything ready, and then we'll come back and we'll start doing everything else. Okay. So we'll see you back when it's time to start putting flowers in. Okay. All right. See you in a little while. Hey, y'all. Sorry, I was adjusting my camera because I jumped to the other side of my table because I moved this over here. Excuse me, because I have everything laid out on the other side of my table. So I've already started placing some leaves because I wanted to see how tacky everything was. And I think we're good to go. So let me go ahead because I think I'm going to put the leaves up here. I'm not going to press. I'm just going to lay. About all the damage I can do. Don't have anything else. Don't have anything else. That'll do it. So we'll wait for this to cure more, and then I'll come in and I'll pour the deep pour on it. Now these are going to stick up above, but we'll just sand it at the end. Okay, we'll see you when this is cured for our first layer. Okay, bye. Hey y'all, welcome back. It's time to pour some deep pour. And as I said before, we're going to use the Wise Bond. And so it's been a while since I've said anything or went over the Wise Bond. It's been sitting on my floor, so I'm trying to wipe the bottles down to make sure nothing is on them. So basically, you can pour up to 2 inches thick in one pour. Now, my thickness is 1.5 inches, so we can pour it all in one pour. So this is a 2-to-1 ratio. It says on here specifically that if your A and B are cooler than 65 degrees, you have to warm your resins, both of them. I checked them. Come on, paper. My resin is sitting at 70.7, and my part B is 70.3. So it is within that range, and it says that only use A and B when liquid temp 77 degrees Fahrenheit or under to prevent premature curing. So basically you use a bucket with exact mix ratios, 2 parts A to 1 part B. Mix thoroughly for 6 to 8 minutes. Pour mixed epoxy into a second clean mixing container and mix for 1 minute. This ensures no unmixed A or B contaminants to the final pour. The pot life may last 2 to 3 hours before beginning to gel. Product may heat up after 45 to 60 minutes. Your work time prior to product beginning to gel, work time may be as long as 2 to 4 hours, depending on air time. Air temp, pour depth, width, length, and overall epoxy mass. Do not breathe in vapors. Pour it slowly. Excessive amounts of epoxy will increase the risks of curing and drying defects. If more than 2 inches of depth is needed, allow the product to cure for 18 to 24 hours. Cure time, hard cure will take 72 hours depending on air temp, pour depth, width, and length, and overall epoxy mass. Will take 30 days for a full hard cure. So there you have it. That's what it is. That's what it says. So we're going to mix up what I need to pour the whole thing in one pour. But before I do that, I need to, one memento, I'm on the other side of the table. I'm going to put these pieces down that aren't stuck. So let me put you on pause for just a second. Okay. There was just a couple pieces, the leaves that weren't sticking because it had already started to cure. So I wanted to make sure that those were down now. And I also, I'm sure they're probably going to float, but I sprinkled some of these in there. They're little diamond-y things that have like AB on the back of them. Hopefully we'll be able to see them, but we'll see. But in this mix, I am going to put some of the Rainbow Marabou alcohol ink. So what I'm going to be mixing this in is this old Magic Pour bucket that I have cleaned, scrubbed, sanitized, everything. So get this opened. All right, so I think I am going to, because I need 2 of A and 1 of B. I'm going to go ahead and pour 2 of these and see what we got for 2. Okay, so that's 2,000 of part A. And then we're going to do 1,000 of part B. Okay, I'm going to set a timer. And I'm going to mix. I don't think you guys need to sit here and watch me mix this, so I will mix it and I'll be right back. Okay, let me wipe my fingers off here because I have it all over my hands. Okay, BRB. Okay, y'all. Goodness gracious. That's a lot of resin. But it's mixed. And I did pour some off into this over here. Now I just got to get the marabou in it, but I've got resin all over my stick. That should be good. All right. Now we get to pour. Basically, I'm just going to pour some into this thing because this bucket's going to be too hard to hold. And pour from until it gets a little emptier. Okay, I am going to have to switch you over to this other camera because I'm not moving that thing. Wish I had a double system so I could run 2 cameras at one time, but I don't. Let me put you on pause and move you over to this other camera tripod, and you can watch me pour it over here. Hold on. Okay, here we go. I'm going to pour into the flowers first. After this, the bucket will be after that. When this is in, I still have more in the bucket, and after that, it's done. I don't have any more mixed up. Because this is the last of it. That is it. The last 500 mLs. Easy. And here I was worried I wasn't making, or I was making too much. Okay, guys, my phone's about to die. I can see the screen darkening, so I will get the rest of this mixed up, get it poured, and get it covered. And we'll have to see you when it's cured. because we'll have lots of work to do because we have to sand the top and everything like that. So, all right, y'all. We'll see you on the next step. Okay. Bye. Hey, y'all. Welcome back to Resin Me Up. Look what I got in front of me. You guys, this took me almost all day to get sanded. And I don't know if you can see them or not, but there's a ton of bubbles in the top. After I poured this with deep pour, I kept checking it, kept checking it. And this was the night, one of the nights that I went to bed early because of my migraine. And so I didn't check it before I went to bed, and I should have. But when I got up the next morning, I had all these bubbles, which it's no big deal because we're going to top coat it. So it's not going to, you're not even going to be able to see them. So, but this has all been sanded, been cleaned, and I've got it up on top of cups, and my resin just got done mixing, and we're going to use the BOOWAN tabletop. So I guess we're just going to get it poured on there. So remember, this was the BOOWAN deep pour. Now we're going to use the BOOWAN tabletop, and we're going to see how this all looks. So let me get this. I'm not even going to run it through my vacuum chamber because we're probably going to use a torch on top of this anyway. So there's really no point. I mixed up 200 mLs. I've got the back taped. That's why it looks blue on the background. All right. I'm going to get up here on my stool so I can see because I'm too short. Here we go. All right, I'm going to change gloves and then I'm going to torch where we are at in bubbles. Okay, all right. I'll be back when it's ready to take the tape off and so you guys can see. All right, BRB. Hey y'all, welcome back. I just wanted to show you, I finally got this thing done. I got the vinyl piece on top and it's not quite dry yet, so I can't take the tape off yet. But I did want to show it to you so that I can get this video posted. It's been, what, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and today's Monday. It's been 8 days since I started this project, and I wanted to show you that it's done. So, I lost count on how much resin it took, but let me go out here so you can see the whole thing. This here is the tape on the sides so that I could pour the top coat over top of the vinyl. So it's done. All I got to do is wait for this to cure 100%. It won't be done till tomorrow. And then I can pull off the tape and it's done. So yeah, it's a done. So let me bring you down so you can take a look at, let me shut this big light off because it's going to be glaring. Hopefully you can see everything without a glare. I doubt it. So it turned out fairly well. The only thing I was very disappointed about are those leaves in the bottom. Let me show you, just in case you don't remember, what they look like before I put them in there. And they look like this. And they're fuzzy. Can you see the fuzz on them? And that's what they look like after I put them in resin. They have green blotches all over them. And so those are the only really things that I was disappointed with. Some of the roses ended up with transparent petals, which to me, that tells me that the roses got cold, too cold at some point. Now, she brought these to me immediately after she got married. So, yeah, and I dried them right away. So I'm not sure why that happened, but I was always told that if your roses got too cold and you dried them, that the petals would turn transparent. So I don't know. But other than that, I think it turned out really well. I did put those little AB things in there, and you can see those down on the bottom. Some of them floated, and the orange, light orange, and the dark orange roses turned out really pretty. And the significance of these 3 roses down here, one is for Shelby, one is for Kieran, and one is for their dog. And then that's just the rest of everything. The only thing that did not dry in her bouquet was the hydrangeas. And like I said, I'll put a picture of her bouquet in the video when I go through at the beginning. Yeah, the hydrangeas didn't dry at all. They just totally didn't dry. They just didn't dry at all. So that's the only thing that's missing from her bouquet. Everything else is in here. So, yeah. So there you have it, guys. 7 days. Wait, 8 days. 8 days of working on this project. And it's finally finished, except for me taking this tape off around the thing. So, and this I did in gold. That's their last name. And I just did that instead of putting their wedding day and all that stuff on there. I just did established in 2025 because that's when they got married. So, yeah. So you guys will have to let me know what you think. Lots of resin because this thing is 2 inches thick. I think if I remember right, this is either 20 or 24 inches round. That's the closest estimate I can give you. So, all right, y'all. Well, there you have it. This is the wedding bouquet. I was going to make it into a table, but I changed my mind. I'm going to put feet on it so that they can set it like on their coffee table or something like that. And the reason why is because I couldn't find any legs that I liked for it. So, yeah. All right, y'all. Well, remember, stay curious, stay creative, always stay positive, and be kind. And we will see you on the next video. All right, y'all. Have a great night. Bye.